Welcome back. It's often been said that Ottawa is home to more Inuit than Uqallagvik, the capital of Nunavut. They come here for a variety of reasons: education, healthcare, and employment, and many stay. So it's a bit of a surprise that up until 9 months ago, there was no radio broadcast in Inuktitut. That changed when Uqallagvik hit the airwaves on Carleton University's radio station. And one of its hosts is here to talk about it. But before I talk to her, here's a bit of Jessie Kangok in action, starting with Uqallagvik's theme song.
Missing and murdered Indigenous women 13 million.
The show airs every other Wednesday from 11 to noon, and it offers up a smorgasbord of music, studio guests, and community events, presented here by co-host Janet Uqallagvik.
A support group for people willing to change their addictive behavior.
The show is an offshoot of Nipivut, a Montreal-based program that launched in 2016. About the Ottawa version, Kangok has said that for twice a month she can forget she lives in Ottawa. So there was a bit of you in action. How did you get the job?
I didn't apply for the job. I noticed it on Facebook through the Uqallagvik Inuit homepage. I followed them on Facebook, and I noticed that they had a job opening for radio hosts and producers and editors. I was in the process of trying to start my own business from working from home, and I was translating and I was translating for Uqallagvik Inuit in different little contracts. And Anna Loge at the time was working with that file, and she was in one of the meetings that I was translating for, and she approached me and asked me if I'd like to come in and listen and learn more about their Uqallagvik's vision. And when I went in and I got to learn and meet Janet and Angeline, I just couldn't help myself and get connected. I had no intentions, or my intentions was to be a listener and really just hear where we're at as a Inuit community here in Ottawa.
Well, it certainly looks like from what we saw, you get right into it and you know what you're doing.
I do now. It took me about 9 months. I finally did my own buttons today, so I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable, unlike my first time trying to figure out which buttons and where the buttons are. But once you get it, it gets smoother.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from people here in Ottawa?
A lot of feedback has been very positive, even though for me, I know for my own episodes, I like to talk about real issues. And it has been very positive, and I believe that's what keeps me coming back monthly, just to deliver on some current issues that we're facing as a whole as a community, and just hearing the feedback of how they're able to just find hope, or just feel less isolated, or feel more connected, and just seeing the children being able to practice their culture in an environment where we literally have nothing is always the most beneficial. Hearing the children singing and learning the language.
You mentioned you bring your own issues to the show. I know that from reading a past report that you said there's a difference between the Ottawa show and the Montreal show. There's a different atmosphere in Ottawa. Just walking down the street, you said. Yes. What did you mean by that?
What I mean is that, like, if you look at the map of Canada, it's divided by many different provinces, and I believe that the barriers that are different between Montreal and Ottawa is the government. They have different policies, they have different visions and different views on how the Indigenous takes part in media and inclusiveness, and I think Ontario is a lot more open and more diverse in promoting. So I think that's why we have more that ability to promote and share what we're facing as a whole and how we can move forward. And I think that for Nipivut has done an amazing job with the barriers that they face, and they continue to not only promote the Inuktitut language but also the Francophone, and I think it's important that they're able to connect that way.
Of course, this is the nation's capital. You kind of alluded to that in your previous answer, but being the nation's capital, does that affect how you approach who you have on your show and how you interview them?
Yes, I think that's my whole reason why I do what I do, because we are in the nation's capital where policies are made, where decisions are made, and I believe that it's time that Inuit's perspective is heard, and not only heard but also understood more, you know, of how we can move forward, or what's important to us regarding the issues that we face. For example, the Inuit culture has a great traditional knowledge, the IQ, and they have an amazing restorative justice about equality. I think that's a great way, core way to go of systems. Yeah.
I noticed the first show of the new year was called Positive Messages. Now, I don't know if the sudden passing of throat singer Kelly Fraser had anything to do with that.
Yes, it had everything to do with that, because we were very excited to promote her, to work with her more in the future. I had the opportunity to meet her when she came here, when my aunt Uqallagvik received the Inspiration Award. I had the opportunity to spend the afternoon with her, and I got to know her, and I'm very proud of the ladies that were able to promote Kelly for who she was. She loved the Inuit culture, she loved the youth, and I'm really happy that they were able to show her shine through our new legend. Yeah, Kelly Fraser.
How much of a punch to the stomach, though, was that her sudden passing?
It's still a shocker. I think it's a little bit confusing because she's so young, and it was so sudden, and also having to see her in the media, still having to see her news about her, and knowing that she did develop this beautiful video with Isuma Production that they had started up in Uqallagvik. And I look forward to seeing that. If they did finish it, that would be amazing to see her completed work, her last project. That was very important to her. And yeah, I think it's very just surreal, because you know she's passed on, but at the same time she left us a great piece of treasures.
And to look forward to the future now, guess what's on the horizon? Do you think you'll have the Prime Minister on your show anytime soon?
I probably wouldn't want him on my show, so he's probably not on my list, but we hear from him too much. He's got a lot of mic and a lot of voices, and I think it's time that we hear from people that are working on the ground up, who are policymakers, entrepreneurs, and who work within the communities in education and in the family system. Those are the people that I would love to hear from, that are working day to day to ensure that our Canadian system is moving forward for something better.
Well, sounds great. Sounds like you do a little bit of what we do here on Nation to Nation. It's every Wednesday, 11 to noon, as I said, on 93.1 here in Ottawa, but it's on the internet as well.
Yes, on demand. You can catch us on www.ckcufm.com.
Oh, sounds great.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Kangok, for doing this. Thank you for talking to me.
Awesome. Thank you for having me here, Todd. It was awesome to meet you.
We'll have more after another short break.